PFL Mena number 2 this Friday from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The PFL is back with their Saudi Arabian branch, I would say. Of course, we have PFL Europe. You have the United States version, I would say, of the PFL, or the main version of the PFL. And now here we go, PFL Mena number 2. I believe we went perfect on the last card, if I'm not mistaken. I think we did. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am some guru of Saudi Arabian mixed martial arts. I'm just not, okay? But I can give you, a better, I would say, prediction, I think, through what I have gathered from the last couple days. I was supposed to make this video yesterday. I was feeling sick, so we're gonna do it today. We've got, I believe, 11 fights on this card. Yeah, 11 fights on PFL Mena this Friday, again, from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. In the main event, you have got Mustafa Rashid Neda, who has performed or has fought on the PFL before. He's taken on Abdel Rahman Tairi. Also, Hussaini Al-Silawi is on this card as well. He was originally supposed to be in the main event. His opponent pulled out, so he is now in the featured bout on the main card. And folks, if you haven't out yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MMA here on the channel. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, we posted our UFC Fight Night Denver, Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez predictions. Link is in the description down below. Again, I'll be honest with you, this video will not be the longest. It's probably gonna be like 15 minutes max, just quickly going over these fights. And again, I'll have more things to talk about on the main card fight. Some of the undercard fights, it's kind of a crapshoot. You're gonna start things off here with Hadi Omar Al-Hussaini taking on Zeidan Kareem. We're gonna go with Al-Hussaini to win this fight. He is 5-0-1. You're gonna see a lot of prospects on these PFL Mena cards coming in from UAE Warriors. This is where Al-Hussaini does come from. He is 4-0-1 over in UAE Warriors, taking on Zeidan Kareem, who is 3-1, and basically this is where I will pick most of these fights based off where these guys have fought prior to fighting in PFL Mena, right? Also, Al-Hussaini has fought in UAE Warriors, which is a very credible promotion over in the Middle East. Given some of the guys he has fought over there are not the best, but he's fought over there in UAE before. He's beat a 6-4 guy in the past. And when you look at what Amir Kareem has done, this guy has not beat a fighter with a winning record so far in mixed martial arts. He's fought guys who have record and eligible MMA tags on their Tapology page. Again, he's been fighting in this promotion called AUFC, which if you click on Arabic Ultimate Fighting Championships, I guess branch on Tapology, you get the big yellow box that says this promotion has been flagged by Tapology because of, legitimacy efforts and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going to take Al-Hussaini to win this fight. He has fought in UAE Warriors. I trust that a lot more. I think, again, he's 4-0-1 in that promotion. He should be able to parlay that into a victory here in the PFL. That fight's at 125 pounds. We are taking Al-Hussaini to win the fight by decision. To our next one here in the lightweight division, you've got Abbas Khan taking on George Eid in this fight. We're going to be going with Khan to win this fight by decision. Again, you look at where these guys have come from. Khan's a guy coming out of Brave. For George, this fighter coming in from the country of Lebanon. He has fought in Brave before, but only one fight over there, which is a split decision loss in 2021. He has not fought since the year of 2021. Again, kind of pointing why we're going to go with the boss Khan to win this fight. Now, Khan has fought 8 fights professionally. His last fight is a guillotine choke loss to a 6-0 fighter who is now, again, 7-0. No shame in that over in Brave. Before that, he beat a guy in MMA Global Series by split decision who had a record of 44 wins and 40 losses. Now is 46 and 43. Yeah, interesting. You've got Marcel Santos, who is 40 years old. But Khan, again, is 3-2 in Brave. He's shown the capability of winning fights both on the feet and on the ground. I think he's the better fighter in this one. He's taken on a guy who has lost 2 of 3 fights. His last winning streak dates all the way back to 2017. Again, some of these picks, you don't have to know the most about the fighters, but if you look at their record and if you look at and again, I always say this all the time with the PFL and Bellator now that they're merged, they try to get the guys they want to win. Again, this feels like a fight they want Khan to win, so they're going to give him, the easier opponent. I'm going to take him to win the fight by decision. To our next one here, we've got Abdullah Saleem taking on Omar in this fight. We're going to go with Saleem doing this one. This is a pretty solid fight, though. You got a 5-0 fighter here in Abdullah Saleem taking on the 4-0 Omar coming out of Tunisia, fighting, though, out of London, England. However, when you look at both these guys' records, I mean, for Saleem, he's beat, decent guys who have had professional mixed martial arts fights so far in their career. You look at what Omar's done, one win over a fighter who was not making their professional mixed martial arts debut. It's his last fight against a guy who's 5-7. Before that, all against guys who were 0-0. Again, that kind of says something. Now, Omar has not gotten out of a first round. He has won every single fight he has had in the first. I think he's going to have problems with the fighter coming out of Kuwait here, and Abdullah Saim. He is a primary grappler fighting out of Gracie Baja. Again, that's kind of what we would expect. I think he's going to go out there. I think he's going to get a submission in this fight. Again, what Omar has done, he's gone in there and he's just dominated guys on the feet. He has dropped them. He has finished them on the ground. After he's gotten the knockdown so far in his career, he's taken on a primary grappler. I think Abdullah Saim is going to give him hell on the ground. Again, Omar has not fought anybody on the level of Saleem. Saleem has fought guys in the past with, at least experience in professional MMA. Everything again points to Abdullah Saleem to win this fight. I think he gets the fight on the ground. I think he will win it by submission. So eventually we are going to go with a submission win for Abdullah Saleem. I got him to take this one by second round submission. To our next one here, in the atomweight division, in, of course, the women's division, we have Hatan Alsaif taking on Eman Bakara in this one. So you might remember Alsaif from the last PFL Mena card. She was an underdog in that fight, or I believe, or no, okay, maybe she was a favorite. I believe on Tapology, she was the underdog. Yeah, a lot of people were taking her opponent in that fight, Neda Fahim. It was an amateur fight, but Hatan Alsaif gets the knockout with a head kick in the second round. I would say it was probably the biggest moment for the most part of that PFL Mena card. It was the big, finish again, especially at 105 pounds. You don't see the most knockouts at 105 just because, again, fighters are not that big. They're not hitting with the most power, but Alsaif went out there and got the finish in the second round. She's now making her professional mixed martial arts debut against Aman Baraka coming out of Egypt. Not much on her, I'll be honest with you. Again, I've seen Alsaif striking. I think she's a pretty, decent kickboxer. Both these fighters are 5-1. Baraka only has one amateur fight on her record on Tapology. In all fairness, Alsaif only has one as well. I'm sure they've had more. It's just, again, regional mixed martial arts fights in both Saudi Arabia and Egypt are not always being reported to Tapology or being put on an MMA database like Tapology or Sherdog or whatnot. So, again, it's kind of a shot in the dark. I will say something, though. If you look back at, the poster, again, there is Alsaif on the poster. Again, I did this with PFL Europe, and again, it's mixed martial arts. You can't intentionally rig fights or set fighters up. Well, you can do that. You can set fighters up to win, but you can't, again, it's not professional wrestling. You don't book, guys to win certain fights or certain matches, but you can definitely give them favorable matchups. And that's kind of what the PFL does to a certain extent. They have their fighters they want to win. They're going to give them easier matchups. So, Hatan Alsaif should be able to win this fight. Oh, God, I'm going ahead of time. But yeah, I think Alsaif wins this fight. I think she gets it done by decision. I wouldn't bank on back-to-back finishes. It's her first professional mixed martial arts fight. But again, she seems like one of their faces of PFL Mena, so I think she's going to win. We're going to take Alsaif to win the fight by decision. You might have already seen it earlier, but here we go. Omar El Dafrawy, I probably butchered that, taking on Anthony Zeidan in this fight. Probably butchered that as well. But we're going to go with Omar to win this fight. Now, okay, yes, he's 10-6. I get it. And Anthony is 5-1. Look at the guys they fought. You look at what Omar has done. He is 0-3 in Brave. He went 0-1 in UAE Warriors, but he's won 4 fights in a row. Sorry, he's 1-1 UAE Warriors. And I put a lot of weight into his last win. Earlier this year in January, he won in UAE Warriors. First round knockout victory for him in the co-main event. It was a fight he wasn't supposed to win. He was a big underdog in that fight. You look at Tapology, 92% of voters went with his opponent in that fight, and he went up there and got the win. Again, yes, he won a 4-fight losing streak back in 2021 through 2023, but he's come back and he's won 4 straight fights. He has experience. He's taken on a guy here in Anthony who hasn't really fought anybody all that good. Oh, by the way, he's 37 years old. He's approaching the end of his career. The Indonesian fighter, the fighter fighting out of Indonesia from Egypt, in Omar El Dafrawy, probably butchered it again, has, he's only 29 years old, still coming into his prime for the most part. I do like him to go in here in this fight, and I like him to win by knockout. Again, you look at the guys he's lost to. Abbas Khan's on this card. He lost to him by decision. That was Khan's first professional mixed martial arts win. I'm not too against it. He's 10-6, but yes, he's fought good guys. Unlike some of the other guys on this PFL Mena card, I do completely understand some of his wins are, total setup fights. But still, I like the power. I think he's able to go out there and get a knockout in this fight, especially because it's a 37-year-old fighter here in Anthony. I'm taking Omar Dafrawy, again, probably butchered it. We're taking him to win the fight by first round knockout. To our next one here, in the lightweight division, Amir taking on Sohail Tairi in this fight. We're going with Amir to win the fight. Another one of these guys on the poster of the PFL Mena card. We expect him to win. 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. This is a guy who fought on the PFL, not in the season in 2023, but he fought on a regular season event. He was about even money in a fight with Bruno Miranda, a guy who made the playoffs that season in the PFL because he got a split decision victory over Alex Martinez, and he was just put in the playoffs against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Or actually, was this was this a season fight? Actually, it might have been. I think this was a season fight. Yeah, this was a season fight. Excuse me. Bruno Miranda, Amir was a season fight last year. Again, Miranda went 2-0 in the PFL season last season. Of course, lost to OAM in the playoffs. Miranda gave it another go last year, lost to Brent Primus in his first fight, ended up beating Patricky Pitbull the second fight by split decision. So again, Miranda's not a bad fighter, and that's the fight Amir is coming off of. Now they have moved him to PFL Mena, very similar to Gerard Hussain Al-Silawi and Neda as well in the main event. Again, this is one of their guys. Amir is taking on a 6-4-1 fighter from France here in Sohail Tairi in this fight. Tairi has fought in UAE Warriors. He's taken on a UFC fighter that you may know in Mohammadseifi. Lost the fight by unanimous decision. He has fought decent guys. However, I think this is a good fight. I just think Amir is better. I do like what we get on the ground here with Amir. He has been chinned before in the past, and that's a little bit of a concern. However, I don't think Tairi offers that one-punch knockout power to put him away. I think this is kind of a grind-him-out fight that I think Amir does win. I think he does get takedowns, and I do think he gets his French opponent to the ground. I think he ends up winning. Again, I cannot emphasize it enough. Again, there is Amir on the poster. I think he does win. There is Omar on the poster on the right. Again, these are the guys the PFL are kind of setting up to win. I think we get the victory here with Amir. I think he gets it done by decision. To our next one here, Josh Togo takes on Mohsen in this fight. We are going to be going with Josh Togo to win the fight here in the lightweight division by decision. Togo's a guy coming out of Australia. He's fighting out of Australian top team, over there in New South Wales. And he's taking on a guy who's 4-2. Now, for Mohsen, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. He has won 4 in a row. He started off his professional mixed martial arts career losing back-to-back fights, the second of which was to Reguigui over in WLF Wars. Reguigui's a guy who was in and out in the UFC. He's now back in the UFC after winning the Road to the UFC series. This is a guy who has had 1 million fights. He's had 30 professional mixed martial arts fights at just the age of 24. I don't think he's the greatest skill-wise, but I do think, he's a somewhat decent guy that the UFC can kind of just keep around for the Chinese market. But for Mohsen, again, he loses that fight to Reguigui, his second professional mixed martial arts fight. He's won 4 straight since, and the last one being a fight and a win in Brave against a guy who was 4-0 at the time, now 4-2. But I don't think Mohsen's all that bad. He's got knockout power. He won 3 straight fights by knockout in the first round. Yes, he did get chinned by Reguigui in the first fight, in that first loss he did, or second loss he did have. But again, Reguigui was 14-3 at the time. Really no shame in that, and Reguigui fights all the time. He's taking on Josh Togo in this fight. Togo's been around, though, and he's a guy who's fought in Eternal MMA. He's 4-1 over there, which is a very good fight promotion over there in Australia. He's fought in Brave as well. Did lose a fight over there in Brave, but he's fought in the best Australian MMA promotions. We're talking about Eternal. We're talking about Hex. These are, fight promotions that guys like Alexander Volkanovski, Jack Della Maddalena have fought in the past. I believe Volk has fought there. I know Jack Della has, but these are the promotions that Togo's been fighting in. Now, the one hit on his game is his grappling. His grappling's not very good. However, I don't anticipate this fight hitting the mat here with Mohsen, and I think you see somewhat of a striking fight, and Josh Togo should be able to go out here and pick up the victory. He's the much more experienced fighter. He's been in a lot more fights. I think, again, if he can get this fight out the first round, that's where, you know, his opponent seems to kind of just sprint in the first, try to get that finish in the first round. I think Togo is able to go out there and pick up the win. I'm taking him to win this fight by unanimous decision. To our next one here, in the welterweight division, we have got Amir Fazli taking on Diani in this fight. We're going to go with the Iranian fighter here and Amir to win this one. We're taking him by first round knockout. This is a guy who's 6-1. He's coming out of Lebanon, from Iran, now fighting in Lebanon. He's fought in UAE Warriors multiple times. Again, 3-0 in UAE Warriors, back-to-back fights, and this is one of their better prospects that they do have on this card. 3 straight wins against very good fighters, right? A 5-0 opponent he beats by first round knockout. A 9-2 opponent he beats by first round knockout as well. Beats a 12-3 guy by unanimous decision. Given a very overweight, just as it seems, a very overweight middleweight for the UAE Warriors Championship. However, again, he beat a guy who beat KB Buller. Now, I don't think KB Buller is the best, but I think Fazli's pretty good. I think this is one of the better guys they do have on this card. He's got knockout power. He's taking on Diani in this one, a guy who trains in France from, I believe, Morocco. Yeah, from Morocco. Went 4-3 in UAE Warriors. Again, you're seeing, you know, more skillful guys, of course, as you get up this card like you would expect. But again, I think Fazli's able to go out here and pick up this victory. Again, he's the UAE Warriors champion, now making his debut in the PFL. This is one of the better guys they do have. Great hands. He's got a lot of power on the feet. He did go 5 rounds in his last fight. Again, he did win it by decision. I think he's just able to go out here and knock out Diani pretty quickly in this fight. Diani is a guy who's been chinned a couple times, just 2 fights ago, lost by first round knockout for the UAE Warriors welterweight championship. Again, not a bad prospect at all. He's lost the same guy twice. He lost back in 2021 to a fighter you may know. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's the guy who's in Alex Pereira's corner, I do believe. Yeah, it's the kickboxing guy that, it's Ursuri, the babyface assassin, that's what they call him, from France. He's lost to Adesanya and Pereira before in kickboxing, but he's going to get another shot in the Contender Series. That's a guy who has beat Diani in the past. He did go the full 3 rounds with him. Since then, he's been knocked out twice by the same guy, in Wasim Hamani, who is the UAE Warriors welterweight champion. He got the belt from Diani, who did have the belt at one point. So again, I think these are 2 solid guys. They're fighting at 170. I think Fazli does go out there and pick up the victory, though. I'm going to take him to win by first round knockout. Again, Diani's been chinned before, and that's kind of what the Prince, Amir Fazli, does to go out there and do. He goes out there and gets quick finishes. I think he goes out there and wins the fight by first round knockout. To our next one here, Hussaini Al-Silawi takes on Ryan Atmani in this fight. Atmani is somewhat of a short notice replacement. Again, we are taking Hussaini Al-Silawi to win this fight by first round knockout. I think it's done pretty easily. This is one of the easier picks to make on this card. He's taking on a 4-2 fighter here, fighting out of Algeria, who has lost his last fight where he just got knocked down in the first round. He's been knocked out in 2 of his last 3 fights. Again, make what you want about Hussaini Al-Silawi, right? He lost 3 straight fights in the PFL in 2022 and 2023. Magomed Umlatov, Sadabusi, Solomon Renfro. At one point, he was scheduled to fight Cedric Doumbé in Doubé's PFL debut over in the States. That fight, of course, fell through. So say what you want about Hussaini Al-Silawi, but the guy, again, has power in his hands, and he should be able to knock out a guy who simply, just to simply put it, should not be there with him in the in the smart cage. Again, Al-Silawi is a guy who's fought in Brave. He was 10-1 over there. He was their champion. He's fought in Cage Wars before, way back in the day. But again, a PFL guy who, again, is in a very good position to win this fight. I'm not going to spend too much time on this fight because, again, this was originally supposed to be the main event. Al-Silawi was supposed to take on a different 4-2 guy who he was definitely going to mop the floor with. They are matching him up with opponents he can beat. They got to get him back on the winning ways. He did win his last fight over in Brave by unanimous decision. Again, he should be able to go out here and beat Atmani pretty simply and pretty easily. I'm going to take Al-Silawi to win the fight by first round knockout. And next up, we got another guy on the poster here, Mohammadseifi taking on Ouabbas in this fight. We are taking Mohammed to win the fight by decision. This is a 5-0 guy coming out of Kuwait, now though training at AKA over in San Jose. I mean, again, in the past, he has beat Omar Dafrawy, again, a fighter earlier on in this card we talked about who we picked to win. Again, Alaqraa seems like, again, another pretty big prospect that they do have. He's taken on Ouabbas, who has fought in Bellator before. He did win in 2022 over in Bellator. He did win the fight by first round knockout, which is great. But again, I will keep looking at the poster here. Right there. There is Mohammadseifi at the top of the poster. He is supposed to go out here and win the fight. I don't remember Slide ahead. Oh god, that's the main event. But yeah, Alaqraa should be able to go out here and win the fight by decision. Again, he's training at AKA, you know, one of the bigger, I would say one of the bigger gyms in America now, given they don't have the guys they used to. They used to have DC, Rockhold, Velasquez, King Mo all at the same time. Now, again, it's just kind of, you know, they get some of these guys from Russia and Dagestan when they need to train in the States. But Alaqraa has shown good wrestling so far in his MMA career. Again, an AKA guy fighting out of Kuwait, 5-0 on the poster. He should go out here and win the fight. Given I think his opponent's not that bad, I just think, again, Alaqraa is put in the best position to win this fight. He should be able to take over grappling, and I think he should be able to win this fight by decision. To our main event, here we go. Mustafa Abada Rashed Neda taking on Abdel Tairi in this fight. We're taking Neda to win this one. We have him to win this fight by second round TKO. Again, he has fought in the PFL before. He fought in the PFL playoffs card last year in New York, where he did go out there and win against Corey Coop by knockout by TKO ground pound in the first round. I think he's able to go out here and win this fight. He's taking on a 9-2 guy, sure, but who has his opponent in the silverback? Abdel Tairi beat exactly nobody. He fought Robert Bryzek back in 2022 in Octagon. Bryzek's now a guy in the UFC who did lose his first UFC fight to Ihor Potieria, but still, you know, he's shown capability of winning fights in the ground. All around, not a bad fighter. I just think Neda is better. Again, he is in the main event for a reason. He's on the poster. He's fought in the PFL before. He has shown the capability of getting knockdowns, plus working on the ground as well. He has been submitted twice in the past, which is 2 of his 3 losses. I don't think he's going to get subbed in this fight. I think he'll keep the fight primarily in his way to win this one. I think he's going to keep it on the feet, and I think he should be able to out kickbox Abdel in this one. Even on the ground, too, I think he should be able to, you know, have the advantage as long as he doesn't get subbed off of his back. He's fought, you know, credible guys in the past. Again, Cup in his last fight where he was an underdog and he won. He beat Osama El-Saidi in the past. He went 1-1 with El-Saidi over in Desert Force. El-Saidi, you probably know him best for losing to Impuka Sanganai. Surprised they haven't brought El-Saidi into this promotion. But yeah, I think Mustafa Neda does go out here and win the fight. Again, I cannot make a point of this enough. Again, the PFL kind of has guys they want to win. He is one of their guys. I think he gets the fight on the ground or on the feet. And I think, again, either he ground and pounds his way to victory or he is able to find that big shot to put Driai down. I'm taking Mustafa Neda to win the fight by second round TKO. Rounding out the PFL Mena card. Folks, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you for watching. And Mamba forever.